Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now, just when our heroes thought that they were finally out of harm's way and away from any danger that may involve another god of destruction, I'm afraid that they were wrong, because with our heroes now embarking on yet another journey that is seemingly about to take them into the deepest and darkest jungles within Universe 18, if our heroes aren't careful enough in watching their every move and avoiding any and all conflict with its destroyer, then I'm afraid that they will all be torn to pieces and utterly annihilated by the very end.
Our story now opens up following the initial events of Universe 17's God of Destruction Grizzlor being shown waging battle against Broly, Goku, and Vegeta, to where with our heroes shown having to try and catch their breath following their initial engagement against Grizzlor, was when Angel Jinrei was then shown having to approach their vicinity by then responding, "You know, I never thought that I would ever live to see the day where Lord Grizzlor would have been bested in battle by anyone, let alone for it to have come by the hands of mortal warriors. For your resilience against Lord Grizzlor was quite astonishing," Jinrei continues, "but what's even more impressive was to see you all go as far as you did in using your fusion as your go-to method in besting Lord Grizzlor, which again isn't an easy thing for anyone, including other destroyers, to go and simply do. However, Saiyans, while you are all formidable contenders within your own unique ways, your fusion along with your ability to briefly combine your ultra powers together was ultimately what did the trick," Jinrei adds, "and while I was able to watch you both swap in and out of using your so-called Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego powers moments before you made contact, I must say that you have earned my respect, along with, I'm sure, the respect of Lord Grizzlor if he was awake to go and address you, but while the two of you who went and fused were formidable while standing together as one, you, on the other hand, Broly, well, you were another eye-opener that we did not foresee having to play out, especially after you had went and transformed the way you did, because outside of Goku and Vegeta's ability to wield the power of the gods on their own, and even while using fusion to go and do it, you, on the other hand, possess a far more explosive and dangerously furious power, the likes of which can only be compared to that of a destroyer's power, except while you lack the ability to control it, you had still given Lord Grizzlor a good run for his money, and so you should feel honored at the fact that you did, Saiyan," as Broly then went on to quickly respond, "Power compared to a god? Well, thank you." But then, it was only suddenly from out of nowhere as a massive beam of light was shown having to crash on down was when Vegeta had gone as far as to turn his head by then shouting, "Hey, wait, and just what in the world was that just now? Girl, don't tell me that it's another one of those destroyers again who came looking to pick a fight with us, damn it." Well, no, for that doesn't appear to be the energy of a god of destruction that touched down, but instead, Jinrei responds, "Judging, of course, based on what I can sense, it would only seem as though this creature just so happens to come from Lord Beerus's universe as well. And likely another one of your mortal allies from Universe 7, of course. And as it looks as though the three of you finally have some company after all," as Vegeta then went on to quickly respond, "Wait a minute now, that's Gohan, but just how in the world was he able to travel here like that? Unless it was maybe Whis who was the one who went and brought him here, but just look at him, Goku responds. He looks really different somehow, as Gohan then went on to quickly respond. So it looks like Whis was right about where you guys were after all, but wait, is that what I think it is behind you all? Surely that can't be now, could it? Is that Universe 17's God of Destruction that's just laid out on the ground behind you guys all the way over there? Were you guys responsible for that? Because that's a little scary to see, as Goku then went on to respond. Well, it's good to see you again, son, but yeah, it's kind of a long story, but we had it out with Lord Grizzlor for just about an hour now, and well, he's knocked out cold for the time being, as Gohan then went on to respond. Wait, hold on, did you just say we as in all of you, including Broly too? And you were all at war with that one destroyer for just about an hour? Well, gosh. Well, I can see on why, because you guys all look pretty banged up, you know, but I'm glad that I came at the perfect time then, Gohan says, because I could only go and imagine on how difficult fighting that god over there must have been. But wait, so if Universe 17's God of Destruction is out cold, then does that mean that we are all going to go home now? Because I wouldn't see as to why we wouldn't, right everyone? Or did I just happen to get in the way of something in the Alright, Vegeta then went on to quickly interrupt Gohan by responding. I think it's pretty obvious by now that something's changed because your presence is unmistakable the moment you had arrived, Vegeta says. And we can sense that you have grown far stronger than how you were shown having to be previously. And so what exactly did you do? Who did you go and train with to allow yourself to grow this much? Because if that outfit of yours wasn't already a dead giveaway, then your power certainly was. And so now start talking and don't try to act as though you don't know what I'm talking about either, because that isn't going to work and you know it. And so what happened? With Goku chiming in, I'm with Vegeta on this one, Gohan, because I've never seen you wear anything like that before, but what's even more notable is that your power level, even while in your base, is massive compared to what it was before. And so because of this, was this a result of your training with Piccolo back on Earth or something? Or did you and Piccolo manage to go and undergo a different form of training that resulted in what we're seeing now? As Gohan then went on to respond. Wait, is my power level really that noticeable? Because surprisingly, it wasn't Piccolo who I was training with this time around, but instead, I was actually training with Lord Beerus, and truthfully, training alongside Lord Beerus was unlike anything that I was ever shown having to experience before, and his methods, along with the two of us being assisted by one of Whis' older brothers named Valko, was extremely intense, Gohan continues. But because we were able to train under the watchful eye of Valko, who specializes in angelic training for young rookies, had paid off, and so you should go and see on how much Lord Beerus has improved too, because I wasn't the only one that was able to evolve my powers while training, as it was only while we were both training with each other where we went on to discover something that was far greater than either one of us had thought was previously possible, and therefore, not only was I able to evolve myself into discovering a far greater level of power than I was ever shown having to have wielded before, but, well, Lord Beerus was also able to evolve himself, so much so that he's almost unrecognizable when he transforms, Gohan continues. And while I know that all of this sounds pretty crazy, but to be quite honest with you all, training under Lord Beerus for the first time the way I was had really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I honestly wasn't fully aware of before our training, and so I'm glad. Wait a second, now just hold on. This entire time while we've been away, you've been off training with Lord Beerus instead? But how did this come to be if Lord Beerus only ever had given us time to train myself, Vegeta questions? For it would explain the sudden change that we sense that's coming from you, but still. And what was this that you had mentioned about discovering a new power, with Goku chiming back in? Incredible, for I never would have imagined that Lord Beerus would go and show any real interest to go and train anyone else if it's not Vegeta or myself, but I'm also curious about what you had just mentioned too, and so, are you saying that both you and Lord Beerus have managed to obtain and unlock some kind of a new transformation or something? And if so, then what exactly is it? But then, it was only just then during the middle of their conversation from out of nowhere as a mysterious portal went on to open up with Universe 18's Angel being shown standing across from it, was when Angel Rumi then went on to respond. Ah yes, for it would appear as though Lord Primos' suspicion of Beerus' mortals to be here was in fact proven to be true after all. Oh, I'm sorry, for I hope I'm not interrupting anything by being here now, am I? Because I surely hope not, of course, with the Jinrei responding, Sister Rumi, well this is quite unexpected for you to just suddenly drop in and show your face like this from out of nowhere. And what do I owe you the pleasure since you are already here, Jinrei questions, with Goku chiming back in. Hey, I remember her, don't you, Broly? She's that angel attendant from the 18th universe who was accompanied by that one destroyer god who really didn't like you all that much if you remember, but what could she be doing here, and how did she even know that we were in this universe to begin with Vegeta responding, well, I think it's fairly obvious as to why she's here, Kakarot, because if you haven't already noticed by now, they all seem to want a piece of us, which likely means that word must have spread of our conflicts with these other destroyers around, and so now because it did, this one here now wants in on all of the action between us too. Well, before I go and do anything else, Angel Jinrei went on to point out his staff by healing Goku, Vegeta, and Broly all of a sudden by responding, I would advise for you all to go and take your leave now, since I'm sure that Lord Primos is already more than interested in confronting you all, and so to ensure that your burdens are kept with you, I will hereby go and heal you all, so that way you may all go and take your leave in one piece before Lord Grizzlor were to awaken and see you all still standing here. And because of this, it would be wise for you to listen to what it is that Rumi has to say and follow her instructions. And so what exactly is all of this about then? Gohan went on to approach Rumi by asking, because I know that you didn't just appear from out of nowhere just to go and congratulate everyone, Angel. And so what exactly is all of this truly all about? With Rumi responding, well, if you really want to know, then I will spare you more along with the details after you agree to come with me, but I do want to say that I bring a message from Lord Primos of Universe 18, for not only is he fully aware of the incredible battles that you have all went and waged against some of the newly resurrected gods of destruction, but, well, Lord Primos also wishes to explain more of this to you face to face, with Goku then having to question, sounds like a fight to me, but what do you guys think? Should we all go and find out as to what it is that he wants, or should we maybe just go and decline his offer and turn the other way? Because truthfully, I'll be honest here, I'm kind of curious to go and see as to what he wants, you know, with Vegeta responding, well, of course he's looking for a fight, because thus far all of them have, Kakarot. But the question now is, would it be worth the trouble of going into this universe? With Broly then surprisingly having to respond, if this is the same destroyer that I'm thinking of, then I will go, because I'm headed in. With Gohan then quickly interrupting, hey, hold on there for just a second, alright? Are you sure that you want to go through with this and head inside? Because honestly, we really wouldn't know as to what we'd be going up against in there if we go, and so are you sure? With Broly responding, I'd rather go and take my chances out there against him, and so yes, I am sure about going inside to go and see as to what this destroyer wants, and so I'm going in. With Gohan responding, well then if that's the case, then I'll be going alongside with you just to be on the safe side, and so let's go. To which as Broly and Gohan were then shown stepping on through was when Rumi then went on to then chime back in, wonderful then, now if you would simply go and follow my lead, then I will take you straight to Lord Primos myself, and so be sure to come right this way and try not to get lost along the way either, mortals. With Gohan responding, well, I hope that whatever this destroyer looks to confront us all about is well worth it, because the energy levels that I'm sensing on this world are all over the place, and they're also pretty massive too. As Vegeta went on to then dash towards the portal in a hurry by then shouting, oh, to hurry it up, you idiots, or else the portal that binds these universes will close and we'll lose them both inside of it, Kakarot. Right, well, sorry for all of the trouble, Jinrei, but thank you so much for healing us, and although we gotta run, we hope to see both you and Lord Grizzlor soon, so take care. Oh, just look at us, we barely made it thanks to you, and so now let's hurry it up and follow them before we lose them within the thickness of this jungle. With Goku responding, well gosh, hey, take it easy, Vegeta, will ya? I didn't mean to, and besides, they're all right there in front of us anyways, and so let's just trail behind them and see where she goes and takes us. As Gohan then went on to quickly respond, gosh, this jungle is extremely dense. Hey, so being that I was away while all of this went down on Lord Beerus' planet, does anyone know as to what Lord Primos looks like or anything of the sorts? Do you guys think he really means business, or are we in for something easy out here if push comes to shove? With Goku responding, well, truthfully, me and Broly were the only ones who saw him, and although we're not really certain on how strong this destroyer is going to be, he's certainly without a doubt the biggest and meanest looking one among the bunch, as Angel Rumi then went on to quickly respond, well, although I will say that not only is Lord Primos the biggest destroyer among the others, but I would go as far as to say that he is also the strongest among them all too. For he isn't really known for being just any ordinary god of destruction, for Lord Primos is an alpha destroyer, better known for his ruthless and methodical nature in combat, for every move he makes is very well calculated, along with every tactic meticulously planned for succession, as this itself is what sets him apart in making him one of the most feared beings across the entire multiverse, Rumi adds, for he doesn't truly take kindly to anyone who dares to even remotely try and disrespect him, and while I may not know as to what Lord Primos intends to do with you all now that you're all here, what I will go on and say is that it would be best not to anger Lord Primos, and especially if you know what's good for you, but I fear that with all that I have heard take place involving you all, I'm almost certain that this won't be the case upon having to confront one another, with Gohan then chiming back in, well, this guy sounds like a whole bag of trouble, but let's just hope that things don't end up getting nasty out here, or else things will go from bad to worse in a matter of moments. But if anything, Broly looks really determined by having to take the lead here, with Vegeta responding, yeah, well, that's because this god of destruction must have really gotten Broly's attention if he's already shown leading the way like this. And so now how much further do we have to keep walking, Angel? As Angel Rumi then went on to quickly stop by responding, oh, and there you are. Now let's see if I can go and inform him that you are all finally here as he requested. Lord Primos, can you hear me? For it is done, as the Saiyan mortals are all here with me, just as you had requested for me to go and do. And now that they're all gathered together, just as you had intended for them all to be, Rumi continues, whenever you are finished eating whatever it is that you are eating up there, you may go and address them as you wish, with Vegeta responding, wait, so this is Universe 18's God of Destruction? So this was the destroyer that you said had singled out and targeted Broly? With Goku nervously responding, oh yeah, that's him up there alright, and how could I forget given how big that guy is? For I honestly think that he's the biggest God of destruction among them all, if I'm being honest here, with Gohan chiming in, whoa, just look at him, he's massive, and his energy feels very wild on top of it all, and so what do you think he wants from us, especially while knowing as to where you all would even be? As Primos went on to then look on down by addressing the others and responding, well, would you look at what we have over here? And here I was starting to grow concerned that Lord Grizzlor had already eliminated you little worms before I had the chance in getting my hands on you, but I'm glad to see that Beerus's dirty little minions have finally all arrived, especially you, the biggest among your group, for I have special plans for you. And now that you are all here, it's time to get down to the bottom of why I had Rumi bring you all into my domain, for I am going to crush you all and show that idiot Beerus on just how pathetic his mightiest champions truly are. For Beerus had went and drew the line a long time ago, and because of his actions, it'll be his mightiest of champions who will pay the ultimate price, Primos continues, for I've been looking forward to this very moment, and since I heard so much about how the three of you had went and given the other gods of destruction a good run for their money, whatever tactics or strategies that you mortals were shown having to use before won't work here, Primos continues, for do you actually believe that your strength within your tiny numbers will be what grants you victory over me? How delusional. As I too have strength in numbers, and unlike your tiny handful of numbers, my numbers are far greater. Yes, and even though I'm a little curious to see on just how skilled you little worms truly are, my primary focus is going to be with you, the Saiyan mortal named Broly. And so prepare yourselves, Saiyans, for this is going to be your final destination and the very place where you will all be destroyed. As all the while in the meantime, when then venturing back on over into Universe 13 and seeing what Universe 13's God of Destruction Reno alongside his angel Pinota were up to, it was only during Reno's observation upon having to look closer into one of the crystal balls that he was holding was when Reno then went on to chime in. Tell me something, Pinota, for this crystal orb that was given to me by Ferrix is supposed to reveal future events that are said to take place, yet it goes on to reveal nothing no matter what it is that I try, and so why is that? Is this thing broken or what? Cause my patience is starting to slowly run dry and I am in no mood to play any sort of games with these gods of destruction, and so what's the catch here, Reno questions? For I was only ever able to look into this thing once after getting some kind of a tournament take place, but after attempting to look further, the images that this orb had been projecting had stopped, and so what exactly happened here? For he doesn't truly think that I wouldn't go and pay him another visit if I find out that this orb is completely defective now, does he? But what say you, Reno continues, as I surely don't have to do what he said and wait an entire 3 hours for this thing to reboot itself again now, do I? For I want to look more into learning about this Tournament of Power too, and so how can I go and do so without having to wait, Pinota? With Pinota responding, well, unfortunately, Lord Ferrix wasn't lying about the orb's recharge time, and so yes, Pinota responds, for I'm afraid that you'll have to simply go and wait for the orb to be used again after having to recharge, but hold on there for just a moment, as it would only now seem as though we have unexpected visitors, my lord, to which upon Whis and Beerus then being shown suddenly having to arrive, this was undoubtedly the last possible thing that Reno had ever expected to have happen, as Reno then went on to look on down by quickly responding, well, look who decided to finally wake up after lying unconscious, Pinota. For you should already know better than to come barging into my universe unannounced like this, and so what's the occasion, Reno questions? Did you come crawling back for another beatdown, Beerus? For I didn't think that you'd be foolish enough to seek me out like this again after what I did to you a few days ago, and so why exactly are you here? And this better be a good one unless you warrant me having to drop you again like I was shown doing before. And so now cough it up and start talking right now or else. And so now hurry it up and get to it, Destroyer. Well, greetings to you as well, Lord Reno, and you, Sister Pinota, for you know that I just hate having to interrupt, but, well, the matters in which Lord Beerus and I are here within your universe today is in regards to a rematch clause between both Destroyers that was recently just granted and approved by the Grand Minister himself, and so the purpose of our visit here today involves exactly that, Whis went on to continue. A rematch between Lord Reno and Lord Beerus that was given the green light by the Grand Minister in having it take place here and now between the two, and so that is why we are both here. And on top of it all, since Lord Beerus is more focused now than he ever was prior to facing Lord Reno a few days ago, Lord Beerus was also given approval that if any other gods of destruction were to appear and also want a piece of the action against Lord Beerus, then they are hereby allowed to be given the right to do so, since Lord Beerus insists on settling a few things straight here before he and I are shown having to take our leave. And well, since we are both already here and with Lord Beerus already determined and ready to go, Whis continues, I think it's best if this rematch that he asks for were to be taken seriously and for it to be allowed to take place here and now, unless of course you would prefer to go and directly deal with the Grand Minister himself personally, and so the choice is yours. A rematch? You can't be serious, for you must be out of your mind, Beerus. For how could you possibly think to come back for more after taking the beating that I gave you in front of the other gods of destruction and expect to actually atone for the loss that you have taken? For you'd be a fool to go and challenge me to a rematch, but tell me, because now I want to know, do you honestly truly think that you can win, or is there something more, Reno questions? Is this some kind of pathetic attempt to try and save face in order for you to cover up for the embarrassing performance that you displayed against me, as I refuse to take you serious, and so you must be bluffing because it's a terrible one at that as well, Beerus. And so now fess up and tell the truth. As Beerus then went on to respond, your skepticism is expected given the history between us, but I can only go as far to assure you here and now that this is not a stunt, Reno, for I am not bluffing and I am 100% certain that the outcome of our rematch will not be ending in your favor as it did. And in case you don't believe me, then why doesn't your angel go and check to see for you, so that way she may already go and confirm what I'm already here to tell you to your face, Reno. For this is not a joke and I am in no mood for any of your mind games either, and so you will either get this over with or forfeit against me. As Reno then went on to respond, oh, spare me the tough talk, for your bravado is both amusing but also extremely pitiful. For you must be delusional to think otherwise, but go ahead and confirm for me if what Beerus is saying to be true, Pinota, for I doubt that he is telling the truth anyways. As Angel Pinota then went on to respond, actually, Lord Reno, and I hate to have to regret to inform you of this, but it would only appear as though my brother's words along with Lord Beerus's on being given the green light for a rematch against you was indeed been given by the Grand Minister just a few hours ago, and from there ordering for the contest to take place immediately. As a shocked Reno then went on to look over by responding, wait, say what now? So it's true? Everything they said in regards for there to be a rematch held is actually true? But how? And more importantly is that you mentioned immediately, and so how immediate are we talking here, Pinota? Well, from what I can see here, it is said that the moment upon Lord Beerus's arrival, if he just so happens to call for his rematch to happen against you, then that is exactly when and where it will go and take place under the direct orders of none other than the Grand Minister himself. As Beerus went on to then look on up by cracking his knuckles and responding, yes, that's right, for you may have defeated me once, but the defeat that you handed me has only made me stronger, and far stronger than you can ever possibly begin to imagine. For the monster that had slumbered deep within me has now fully awakened, Beerus continues, as in the end, it was all thanks to you, for it's my thirst for revenge and my urge to break you in half that drive me, Reno. But I do have to thank you for giving me the wake-up call that I needed in order to see the bigger picture here, but heed my warning here and now, Destroyer, for the power that you are about to witness will be a power that is so great and so far beyond your understanding that it will redefine the very meaning itself of what it means to wield the title of a god of destruction forever. And so now whenever you are ready, let's go and settle the score between us once and for all, Destroyer, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 18 Saga Manga Chapter number 1 Special then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that even though this entire situation between our heroes and Lord Primos appears to be an extremely dangerous one, especially with Lord Primos singling everyone out and knowing exactly as to what it is that he is doing, our heroes better brace themselves for a battle like no other, as with Lord Beerus also now preparing himself and finally calling Lord Reno out to a rematch within Universe 13, you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.